welcome everyone to our second combined meeting between the Rotary Clubs of Uxbridge and Honavar. And welcome in particular to everyone from the Honavar Club. Thank you for joining us today. Guests on our side, we have Nisi Dillon joining us via Zoom. Good morning, Nisi. Thank you for joining us. Our guest speaker, Steve Rutledge, is in the room here at the Legion. Very excited to hear from you again, Steve. And our district governor, Ciosa, is planning to be in the room. He's not here right now. Hopefully he's not lost and everything is well with him and he's safe. We will introduce him if and when he arrives. Mahesh, do you have guests on your side you would like to introduce? Sorry, you're on mute, Mahesh.
Yes. I want to introduce our district governor. Dear friends, he was born in a family of a school teacher and agriculturist, late Shri H.D. Deshpande, who was follower of Shri Gurudev Ranade's philosophy. Hence, he passed on the values of social ethics and commitment and discipline to his children. Perhaps these values help to begin life in a very humble way by obtaining bachelor's degree in science, and he also holds a degree in pharmacy. Success story in business and profession started with the first step of venturing into retail and wholesale pharmaceutical business, which further inspired to launch industrial setups. Manufacturing of PP capsules for bottling industry and chemicals for telecom sector helped him grow the horizons of business activity. Beginning of the new millennium started inviting him to another diversified but yet challenging world of construction. Of course, earlier experience of man management, leadership, administrative and managerial skills supported to be a very successful builder and developer of multi-storied apartments spanning over 150,000 square feet of construction area with partnership firms. Rotarian Venkatesh is popularly known as Baban. He was invited to join Rotary Club of Belgaum South as a chartered member in 1990. Since then, he has given his time, energy, and money in building his club, serving the humanity and mankind. His service to the club has been honored with Best Rotarian Award thrice by the club leadership. Rotarian Venkatesh was primary contact for 3 matching grants project. He is a major donor of the Rotary Foundation with a contribution of more than 14,000 US dollars. Rotarian Venkatesh led the clubs as president in the Silver Jubilee year 2014 and 15. His leadership enhanced club strength by 80% in membership and a contribution of more than 54,000 US dollars to be felicitated by TRF with highest per capita award in the district. He motivated 4 non-Rotarians to become major donors and also sponsored a satellite club. He was honored as the Best President Award along with 6 district awards and Presidential Citation Award too. Rotarian Venkatesh has served as district officers for more than 20 years, out of which 5 times he was RDC and on 8 occasions he has served as DCC. His commitment to Rotary was well appreciated when he discharged his services thrice as district secretary, club coordination, and general administration. He was involved in raising more than $1 million towards contribution to TRF as district chair of annual giving in 2 years. He has successfully organized 3 district assemblies as chairman and has utilized his skills in 2 conferences as co-chair. Rotarian Venkatesh has served as chairman for district conference Indradhanushya in 2017 and 18 in Belgaum. Rotarian Venkatesh was adjured adjudged as the best assistant governor during centennial year of TRF and was honored with citation for meritorious service award. His untiring efforts in strengthening Rotary is recognized with districts and international awards, namely Outstanding Rotarian of the District Award, Avenues of Service Citation, and TRF District Service Award thrice. He was he is an experienced trainer, and he has trained a lot of Rotarians, protractors, and interactors. Also, he has served on the nomination committee of RID 3170. Rotarian Venkatesh is happily married to Anne Dr. Sandhya, who is a retired professor of Marathi literature, and the couple is blessed with two daughters, both postgraduate engineers, and both are happily married. Rotarian Venkatesh loves reading, traveling, music, drama, cricket. He is humble, simple, and dedicated Rotary leader. No wonder he has been nominated and elected unanimously to lead RI District 3170 as the district governor for 2023, 2022 and 23. Ladies and gentlemen, he is our best friend, presenting to you our district governor, Rotarian Venkatesh Deshpande. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for so much of the introduction. Not necessary to introduce so lengthy. You can say that I'm a district governor. That's sufficient. Very, very good morning to you all from Canada. Very, very good morning.
Morning to you as well. Mahesh, would you like to lead us in a moment of silence?
Yes, may I request all the club leaders and all the members who are there offline and online to please observe 1 minute silence for world international peace. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And I'm going to call on Fran Taylor for our land acknowledgement and the toast.
Thanks, Terry. First, our land acknowledgement. As we begin, we acknowledge that the land we are living, where we are living, is part of the Williams Treaty. We know that people have been gathering here for thousands of years, and that is the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Huron-Wendat peoples. As a club, we are learning about the responsibilities we have as treaty partners, to be truthful and fair to each other and to care for the land. We commit to building goodwill and better friendships and to help create peace in our communities. And actually birthdays, Arlene Lyon will be celebrating on the 19th. Happy birthday, Arlene. I don't know if you're on the call. And Chris Lombardo will be celebrating on the 20th. My toast today has to do with the video that I selected. That video was put together by an organization called Playing for Change. They offer 17 programs in 13 countries, serving over 3,000 youth, giving them the opportunity to learn a musical instrument, vocals, etc. I've donated to that cause for a number of years. And when I saw the video, I thought it would be a perfect choice for today, especially since the song is Imagine and our Rotary theme this year is Imagine Rotary. So I would like to say a quote from a singer, composer, and lyricist from India. Her name is Sanchita Pandey. And it goes like this: music, with all its subtlety, has immense power to unite people, spread love, and bring peace in the world. So my toast today is to music, the universal language.
Yay.
Thank you, Fran. Very fitting for today's meeting. Joseph has just joined us in the room, so we now have our district governor for District 7070 with us in the meeting as well. Thank you for making it up here, Joseph. Venkatesh, we have a moment in here if there's anything you would like to say to the group. And no pressure, you don't have to, but if there's anything you would like to say, this is a moment for that. No, okay. And so one of the things our club has been doing this year is a Rotary fact each week, just a different piece of information about Rotary. So I'm going to share my screen and show this week's fact. So many of you will remember the massive explosion in the harbor in Beirut a couple of years ago that rendered 300,000 people homeless, did $15 billion in damage. And one of the buildings hit by that explosion was a hospital, the Quarantine Hospital. And Rotary rose to the challenge. A global grant was put together. 150 clubs around the world participated, 60 from Canada, and nearly $400,000 US was raised in that effort. And you may be wondering why Canada is so overrepresented in that number, 60 out of 150 clubs. And the answer is quite simple. It's one thing. It's today's guest speaker, Steve Rutledge. He led that initiative. So in addition to the water work we're going to hear about in Laos this morning, as a little side project, Steve led the raising of $400 million to help with a hospital in Beirut. So
400,000. A billion.
right, 400,000. Sorry, the screen's right. I'm wrong. Thank you. Yeah. So maybe if you feel you have time, you can give us a little update on that when you do your presentation as well. But remarkable piece of work there. We have a couple of, we're going to minimize our regular reports this week, so we're only going to do urgent reports, but we do have a couple of special presentations, 2 recognition awards for people in our club. I have here, and really hard for folks on Zoom, but this little pin is a Paul Harris +8 for Fran Taylor. And you heard me correctly, +8. So amazing work, Fran. More on how we're going to get this little thing in your hands in a minute. And then our other reward, also impressive. I have a pin and hang on, still here. And a crystal plaque for Chuck Taylor. This is a first for our club. Chuck is our first major donor ever in the history of our club. Both of you, these recognition pieces are really about financial contributions to the foundation. And in Rotary, there are lots and lots of ways you can be involved, lots and lots of ways you can contribute, but it really boils down to 2 ways. One is with your time and talent, and the other is financially. And Fran and Chuck, you have both been exemplary at doing both. We all know about the great work Fran has done with initiating with Deb, the home tour, now working on the Christmas market this year, a tireless worker in the community. Chuck updated us last week on the work that the club has done in Malawi, and he's been instrumental in leading us in that, in securing grants, in reaching out to other clubs in the district for funds for our disaster relief efforts. So not only major financial contributions, but a huge amount of effort as well. So thank you to both of you. In a perfect world, we'd all be together right now. That's obviously not the case. So Fran and Chuck, Cecilia or Connie will be reaching out to both of you to try and figure out a mutually agreeable date where the 2 of you and anyone in the club who's interested can get together on a patio. We'll give you the actual hardware there, and anyone who's interested can recognize your achievements then and celebrate this accomplishment with you. So stay tuned for that. And then there will be news coming out to the club about specifically what's planned in that regard. But congratulations to both of you. Are there any urgent committee reports? Fran?
Just want to make mention that next week after the regular meeting, we're going to have a quick community service meeting for about 20 minutes. Agenda will be sent out sometime this week. Thank you.
Thank you. We have time for, are there any other reports first? Connie. Connie.
Sorry, committee report. Club Services also has a meeting next week on Tuesday, 9:30 a.m. The Zoom link will come out as together with the agenda.
Club Services, 9:30 Tuesday. Anything else? We have time for one, maybe two happy bucks. Anyone? Susan McClellan has one in the room. And then Nancy.
Sorry to be slow. This is my happy buck money that I didn't have last week. Here's my happy money. We accepted a new member into the club this week. The executive did. Her name is Francine Reed, and we had a wonderful evening the other night talking about Rotary. And we spent 2 hours talking about all the things that are Rotary and what we do and how we do it. And so she's looking forward to attending. She's traveling right now. She's at the airport trying to zoom in from the airport right now. And it's just nice to see somebody with fresh ears and eyes. And it's really good to have another person joining the club.
Great, looking forward to one more new member. Nancy?
Thanks. I'm going to do two because that's me. I'm greedy. First one, Habitat for Humanity. Mark, my husband, works there a couple of days a week as a volunteer. Have had problems with scrap metal, and they've donated it all to the club. Mark did another load yesterday and another $27 into the club coffers, non-Rotary funds, which is terrific. And on Labor Day weekend, Mark and I are going to go and drive at Mossport, which sounds so cool.
Oh.
Be staff, and we're going to drive golf carts. This is in support of the Rotary Club of Bowmanville, who run a golf cart taxi service in the infield and outfield, not sadly on the track itself, but we're going to don our staff shirts once again and do a few laps around the infield and the outfield. If anybody has ever wanted to spend time at a car race and not have to pay to get in and get to chat with all kinds of interesting people and get to tour around the grounds, I put the email of the rep from the Bowmanville Club at the start of the chat today. Please reach out to me if you're interested. They could use some help. Saturday or Sunday, there's 2 shifts from 9 to 1 or from 1 to 6. You get to watch the races if you're not actually doing your shift driving. And for car enthusiasts, it's great fun. I'm a Rotary enthusiast, and so I'm there not spending money, but I'm doing. And as Terry said, there's a couple of ways you can help out Rotary. And if you've ever wanted to drive at Mossport, this is your opportunity on Labor Day weekend. Reach out to me if you're interested. Thanks.
Ron, is it short? Ron?
Very short. I have an advance on a happy buck. My brother Dave from Cornelius, North Carolina is joining us today. He's a retired Paul Harris Fellow from the Rotary Club of Grand Cayman. And brother Teddy is upstairs in bed. He may come down, I'm not sure. Welcome, these two fellows.
Good morning and welcome.
Yep. Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to turn it over to Chuck to introduce our guest speaker.
It's my privilege and pleasure to be able to introduce Steve Rutledge, who for the past 13 years has been venturing to Laos, serving rural my mouth doesn't work this morning, Steve, serving rural villagers with the most basic needs of sustained life. Since 2009, Adopt a Village in Laos has provided over 65 villages with filtered water, one family at a time, served over 35,000 rural villagers, constructed over 24 permanent water supplies, repaired numerous others, built dozens of toilet banks, 12 school construction projects, and continues to sponsor a host of secondary and university students. So I'm exhausted reading that list. Steve, you've done amazing work. And you already heard about his lead role in the Beirut explosion and the work done in the hospital. Steve has been recognized with Paul Harris Awards from Port Hope, Whitby Sunrise, Ajax, and Beirut Cosmopolitan Clubs, and has been awarded the Spirit of Rotary Award in 2016. In 2018, he received the Family and Community Service Award from the Rotary Club of Curtis. And his most recent award was the Bob Scott Disease Prevention Award from Rotary District 7070 in 2020. So, Steve, you're always welcome. We look forward to your annual visit. Please welcome Steve Rutledge.
Before Steve starts speaking, could everyone on Zoom please ensure they're muted? Thank you.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. It's always a pleasure to come back to this club and present to you. I consider you part of my family. We're so close as it is. So, and a special thanks for Losif coming to join us today. I was hoping it would be just to see me, but no, I'm just kidding. Losif and I have been working the last several Rib Fests together, and that's why I have a little bit of a cough. I still haven't recovered from the yelling over the noise of the stage, so you're going to hear me cough a little bit, and I apologize for that. So with our friends in India joining us today, I'm absolutely thrilled to be here. I wonder how many of you realize that the second largest ethnic tribe in Laos are migrants from India, and they're called the Kumu. And they're actually my closest friends. I have many different villages there that we've supported. I think they're by far outnumber all the rest put together because they have the Hmong and then they have the Lao. The Lao tribe generally lives in the cities. The Kumu live in the highlands, and the Hmong tend to live in the lowlands. It is pretty much mixed up now, but that's generally speaking how it works there. So anyway, I wanted to, I'm sure that most of you in India may be aware that Laos remains the most heavily bombed country in the world per capita. They have been struggling ever since, trying to develop their infrastructure, and of course we're happy to be able to help with that. In fact, we're honored to be able to help with that. So I'm going to share a video with you now. It's going to give you a little bit of a background on Laos, and also give you an update as to what we've done this year or this past season with the projects. I want you to pay particular attention to the busiest clips that you see on the video. There's a few busy clips. You'll see they use whatever means that they have. Sorry about that. But you'll see someone smoothing out the concrete with his sandal. You'll see other people throwing rocks in behind the guy's back. And these are big rocks, and I can't imagine if they ever slipped. And the other thing I want you to notice is that these people who just walked 5.6 kilometers from their village with these huge bags of gravel and cement on their backs, they're in high spirits. They go up, dump them off, and then they walk back, get another load, and come back. Just amazing. You know, it's hard for us. And you'll see, like, there's maybe 100 people in these video clips. And we're lucky if we can get more than one worker with 2 inspectors working at some of our projects. I'm exaggerating. It's not really that bad for our friends in India there, but anyway, so I hope you enjoy.
All right, just going to share here. Is this it, Mike?
I think so.
Is the sound checked off on the Zoom or on the portal?
Sorry, no, it's not. So do I need to start over?
Please.
Sorry about that. It's a lot better with the sound, I can tell you. Am I working, Cindy?
Yep.
Welcome to Laos, the most heavily bombed country per capita in the world. During the 60s and early 70s, during the Secret War, the US dropped 2 million tons of bombs on Laos, equivalent to nearly a ton of bombs per person. An estimated 80 million failed to explode, and many remain hidden in the soils, ready for an accident to happen. For the last 13 years, Adopt a Village in Laos, with significant help from Rotarians, businesses, friends, and family, have assisted us to construct permanent water supplies, provide water filtration to over 35,000 rural villagers, build schools and toilets, among other much-needed support. Let's take a look at this season's projects.
Today I'm so glad to be with the gadget chiefs and students, and also engineer right beside me here, and also the teachers over there. So today, a wonderful day that the village are going to organize the handover ceremonies of the water project that has been done. Anyway, I would like to express my sincere appreciation to Adopt a Village in Laos to honor me to thank to the chief and all the villagers that they have been spent there over 30 days to work hard on this water project until complete, because they were so excited to got your fund to be able to build this huge water project. And thank you so much to all Rotary Clubs members that spending your wonderful time to do the fundraisings for this village. And absolutely, this project would have not been any success without your support. So thanks again for your cooperation of both parties. Thank you so much. Bye. 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 สวัสดี my name is Steve Rutledge. I'm a coordinator of Adopt a Village in Laos. I would like to thank you for your generous gift to Adopt a Village in Laos, Canada. We are thrilled to have your support. Through your donations, we have been able to accomplish our 4-room school toilets for over 600 students that come from 4 districts of North Lokabang province, which different villages. So they have been using only 6 rooms for many years in the past. Of course, it's not enough for 696 students to use. Therefore, the teachers see the difficulties of consumption of students, so that they decide to write the request to Adopt a Village in Laos to find the fund to build this toilet for the school, and finally got the fund from you to make this happen. We are extremely grateful. Thank you so much, all the Rotary Clubs members, for helping us. Thank you. Hello, I'm so thrilled to be here with the villagers of Samun, and I can't explain how the villagers are happy to get your donation to be able to build 2 small dams with a tank and 10 taps to serve over 100 families that are moving from neighbor village. Since water running to the village, because they never had water taps before, so therefore we would like to express our sincere regards and thank you to Rotary Clubs in Canada. Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right. So I hope everybody enjoyed that video, especially the cow. He had to step in and join in the audio. So just as a review, in that last video shot of Samun Village, the one with the cows, they had been asking us for more than 6 years to help us with a water supply. The government wouldn't help. They couldn't get help from anybody. And so it's just outside the geographical area where we generally work. And finally, we decided that we would do it, but we didn't quite have enough funds because it was, during COVID. And the clubs were having a challenge, of course, raising enough funds for this. So I actually went to the members of our club. In fact, I didn't do it. It was one of our directors did. And just put a challenge out there. We raised $18,000 from members of our club.
Wow.
That was amazing. Now, the very special thank you to all you members as well. You had the same issue last year. You raised a lot of money privately to be able to help us with doing the major project. And this came out of your pockets. It didn't come out of club funds. And I really, really appreciate it. We couldn't have done it without you. So thank you for that. All right, I want to spend a couple of minutes on the water filter system that we use in Laos, and they are manufactured right in the south of Laos. The challenge, of course, is to get it through those rough roads up to the area where we need them. It is a very simple one. I got this at Home Hardware, which is a neighborhood home improvement store, but they manufacture these right in Laos. And so that's where we get them from. I think they cost us about $3 US or something like that. But the technology is very, very simple. I'm just going to take this apart and show you the filter system itself. It's just a ceramic pot. Okay, ceramic pot looks like nothing. Looks like something you put your flowers in, but 98% of the sediment is left behind by filtering through this pot. So it's the small bacteria you have to worry about, because that's the killer bacteria. So we coat this in a silver nitrate solution, usually painted on both inside and outside, nice thick heavy coating, and we refire it. And so it's built right into the system, and it lasts as long as this does, which is 6 to 8 years for up to 8 members of the family. You just keep filling it up as you need it. The first time you use it, it takes several hours for the water to filter its way through. The rest, after you've used it a bit, it takes a lot less than that, usually 2 or 3 hours for one of these jugs. And then you just keep filling it up. So it's that simple. So one of the issues with that is, of course, we've been doing this for so many years. We've lost the last 3 years because we were unable to replace the ceramic pots with the villages we've already done. And we're about 3,000 behind. The ceramics themselves, they only cost us about $15 US. Not very much at all. We also replaced the spigot on the front because the kids come around and they play with them and they break off eventually. So I don't know if you can see that spigot on the front of the filter there. They're only $2. So we have a huge challenge this year of going around to the first villages we went to replace these. In some cases, we have no choice, but in some cases, we're going to have to replace the entire filter. Some of those we didn't get to. Of course, they've been using it to store their rice because the ceramics disintegrated, and so they're using it to store their rice to keep the rats out. So on the next round, we're going to be supplying garbage pails to do that. So we don't have to worry about them using it for their rice. So that's, and to clean it, we just simply give them a brush. You brush out both inside and outside any sediment that you see on it. It's usually a calcium buildup. So there's that. One thing I do like about it, this program is really successful because I think you can see on the front see a label on the front. And that label allows us to thank each and every donor. And when I say each and every donor, I mean it. 600, we did 608 water filter systems for 608 families this year. We were able to send an email to every single donor, a picture of the receiving family with that label on the front that indicates the name that they chose us to put on there, or a picture of the people they wish to honor. Often it's done in memoriam of a loved one that's passed, or as a Christmas gift. You know, a lot of us have everything we could ever need, and so we prefer it to be given to charity. This is just recognition of that. And so that's how we were able to raise it. We have two ladies. They run an online bridge game all the time, but they reserve one day a year, and they give us, what is it? I think last year they raised 380 water filters from their people who they played bridge with online. So, and it's coming up in the middle of September. So looking forward to another year of that. So does anybody have any questions? Do we have any questions online? You just have to unmute yourself.
Steve,
Yes.
you're here. Nice to see you. I'm curious, we don't get an awfully lot of news about what's going on in Laos at any time. How is the drought or conditions right now climatically affecting what's happening? I'm aware it's got quite a topography, but is drought a distinctive problem that's unusual right now, or what's going on?
Yeah, there's not so much drought. There's a little bit in the south, but generally it's the rainstorms and the flooding. You know, we've had complete villages leveled just from flooding and massive rock slides coming off the mountains. So we've had that before. We did help a village a couple of years ago with that. But generally it's got to do with COVID. Sorry, their economic structure. The value of their kip has devalued over 30% in the last year. Imagine me trying to do a budget, trying to figure out what the costs are going to be. And they have skyrocketed with the fuel prices that have gone up. It's been a real challenge, but so I've had to add a 10% contingency on top of what I had before for our projects, for our main projects coming up next year. With Hui Hid, this is our next water project. I forgot how long the buried pipe is going to be on that one. It's the pipe that's the most expensive part. You know, with 5.6 kilometers in the last one, that was, I think it was about 30,000 just for the pipe. So at any rate, this particular project is going to be around 40,000, we estimate, 40,000 Canadian. So we'll be looking for our sponsors to help us with that. So we've got that, the ceramic pots coming up, and the replacement. Those are our two main ones that we're going to do this year. Sorry, did I answer your question?
Nancy has a question.
You mentioned that some of the filters that are delivered have a donor's name on them. Could you let us know what the cost in US dollars? And it'll probably be an estimate given prices are changing, but what does it cost your organization to install one of those in a village?
We actually charge whatever our cost is. So we estimate this year, we think we can keep it at $125. That's Canadian. So we're saying 100 US. Okay, 100 US or $125 Canadian. You can e-transfer to me, or if you go to aavil.org, you can get in that way as well, and you'll see how you can make a donation. And then we'll process the information. We issue tax receipts to Canadian citizens, Canadian taxpayers.
Steve, I can put the link. If you send it to me, I can put it in our weekly newsletter.
Perfect. Susan has a question here.
Are you going to be going this year? Are you taking a team over? Are you encouraging Rotarians to come and help you? And if you could just fill us in on that.
Yeah, so Susan has been asking about my return and possible visitors coming over this year. So I'm going one way or the other. I checked 3 weeks ago and the price of the flights had gone from 1850 Canadian return to 4,300.
Wow.
Last night I saw one for 2691, so it's coming down slowly. So I'm not encouraging visitors yet until I get there. A lot of hotels closed. Even the guest houses along the route have closed. Some of the restaurants where we get our Western type food have closed. I need to make sure everything's in order before I officially invite you, because I want to take care of you. I don't want you to have to eat the food that I have to eat when I go into the villages. Okay, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Hey, we got a couple minutes. Any other questions for Steve? He can get his voice together.
Yeah, sorry.
Cecilia?
So where are the ceramic pots made?
Right in the south of Laos, right at the manufacturing plant.
So what do you have to take over, or is everything made over in Laos?
Everything's made in Laos, so it's great. I love it. It makes it nice and easy. We did a lot of research and we found out this was the best made in Southeast Asia. So we stuck with it.
So who worked out that a pot like that, was it silver nitrate on it? Who worked out that that would work?
I have no idea. That goes way beyond my knowledge, but I can tell you the World Health Organization approved it. So that's probably what you really need to do.
No, I want to know who invented it.
Oh,
I trust you did it all fine. I just want to know who invented it.
no idea. Sorry.
It's mother.
Deirdre?
No, I'm just wondering if you could update us about the hospital.
Oh,
your
yes.
Other favorite project.
Yeah, absolutely. I haven't heard any really recent updates. The last I heard was that the equipment had all been delivered to the hospital and the hospital was finished. I suspect there are other issues that they have because a lot of their senior people had left the country simply because the wages are so low there. A lot of people are living in poverty and they sought better paying jobs in hospitals around the world. So that may be a challenge. The government could no longer support the hospital, so they gave it over to UNICEF. That took several months of processing. Every step of the way, it was a challenge for us. The quickest part was raising the money, believe it or not. So updates to come.
Thank you, Steve. Always not only informative, but inspiring as well. We really, really appreciate all the work you do, and we're happy to help however we can, whenever we can. So thank you for making the trek up here one more time. Couple more items. I'm going to call on our district governor, Ciosa, to say a few words, I think particularly about our Paul Harris recipients.
Thank you, sir. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Sorry I was late this morning. I got lost. And I never realized there's from 412, there was no exit for Lakeridge. I couldn't find it. So I ended up going east and then the first exit off. And I could see to the left that there's an exit for Lakeridge after 407. So anyway, I did a bit of that. Anyway, I made it here. When we got here, it's fog.
Yeah.
So it's been an adventure this morning. Or some of it. But this is just, I'm sorry, welcome to Uxbridge. There's a lot of golf courses around here. You know, everywhere you go somewhere. So you guys have a lot of good time, I guess, here, or a lot of golf playing. I want to say good morning to everyone here, and also good morning to the Rotary Club in Honavar or Honavar in India. So thank you for being with us today. And anytime we recognize a major donor or Paul Harris recipient, it's an important day in Rotary. So I took a bit of time to write a few notes here in regards to Chuck and to Fran. I'm pleased to take this opportunity to honor Chuck, who has generously contributed to the Rotary Foundation, and in so doing has achieved major donor status. Because of his dedication to the foundation, we honor Chuck with Major Donor Level 1, a recognition making him the first donor at Rotary Club of Uxbridge. So let's give Chuck a big hand. Now, I also like to congratulate Fran Taylor for reaching level 8. So that's a level just below the next level up from that would be major donor. For level 8, triple ruby, multiple Paul Harris recognition. It is the Paul Harris recognition is one of the most prestigious recognition in Rotary, and thereby named after the founder, Paul Harris. So the recognition is a Rotary Foundation way of expressing its appreciation for the substantial contribution. Giving any sum of money to the Rotary Foundation makes you part of the eradication of polio, a partner in creating peace, a person who supports clean water and sanitation, whether in some areas where the water is more than gold. And I think we saw that from Steve this morning, the importance of that, because we see these miles and miles of water. It is measured in lives. It makes you someone who believes that all babies, children, and moms should have a good medical resources, microcredit, equal rights, and believes in protecting the environment. You have demonstrated your deep commitment to the work of Rotary Foundation through your act of great generosity. The Rotary Foundation is a registered charity that supports the efforts of Rotary International. It is supported solely by the voluntary contribution from Rotarians and friends of the foundation who share its vision for a better world. It is our charity. Your gift inspires others to give not just of their treasure, but also of their time and of their talent. So much good begins with your generosity. You give to others, not knowing their stories, their faces, or even their names. In so doing, you demonstrate through a generous act that all fellow human beings are worthy of our compassion. Your act of kindness is a seed of peace that will yield returns for not only the community served by your generosity, but from Rotary as a premier foundation and organization. You are among a dedicated and select group of humanitarians who have committed themselves to serving others. So we congratulate you and we thank you for your commitment to the programs of Rotary Foundation. And I quote Paul Harris when I say, she or he who tries to find good in others will be rewarded, for others will surely find the good in them. Of all the earth's sad and lonesome creatures, the most helpless is he or she who loves not humanity. Ladies and gentlemen, please congratulate and recognize our newest and only major donor of the Rotary Club of Uxbridge, Chuck Taylor, and level 8 multiple Paul Harris fellow, Fran Taylor. Without people like them, the Rotary Foundation would not be able to do the work it does. Let's give him a last applause.
Ciosa, one of the great things about these cross-cultural, cross-continental meetings is seeing how other clubs operate and occasionally borrowing or stealing one of their traditions. So the Club of Honavar has a practice of closing their meetings with a last laugh. So today we're going to steal your practice and Terry Chapman is going to give us our last laugh for today.
Thank you, Terry. Hello, Honavar, and hello, Uxbridge. When Michael asked me to do this, my first thought was, gee, we live in very sensitive times, economically, politically, socially, environmentally, and we have guests from around the world. And I don't, for being Canadian, I don't want to offend anybody, heaven forbid. So I turned to the modern day Oracle of Delphi, and I said, hey, Siri, I need a joke that's politically correct has to be culturally sensitive, gender neutral, inclusive, accessible, apologetic for its past transactions, and if possible, environmentally sustainable. All I managed to prove is that Siri is capable of laughing. So, anyway, so my next step was to talk to my 91-year-old mother, quite a devout woman actually, and asked if she had anything, and she said, yes, I do. So the other thing I proved is that some of my mother's filters are down. Anyway, so the joke is this this Rotarian, we'll call him Michael because that's who got me into this, what happened to be the greeter at his club. And his club had a tradition of adding a Toastmaster section to the greeter. The greeter had to reach into a jar each week, pick out a random topic, and that's what he had to speak on. Just a 5-minute talk, just to have for everybody's delight. So Michael happened to pick sex. So he did his talk and he went home, and the first thing his wife asked was, what was your topic and how did it go? Well, he knew that his wife really wasn't comfortable with that topic being casually tossed about. So he made something up. He said, oh, it was on sailing. And it went very well. Thanks very much for asking. So as luck would have it, his wife was out walking, doing some errands that afternoon and ran into a Rotarian. And the Rotarian that was at the meeting this morning said, I really enjoyed your husband's talk this morning. Quite intuitive. It went over really well. And she said, you know, I find that rather strange. He's only done it twice. The first time his hat flew off and the second time he threw up. Thank you very much.
I think that's a good note to end the meeting on. Thank you, everybody, for joining us.
Yes.
Carol has a quick note.
Can you tables and chairs so it can stay? Thank you.
Okay, so we need to clean up the room fully today. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.
Thank you.